All right. Good morning, everybody. We'll allow a few people to get on board. See what happens here. And so, good morning, everybody. We'll kick off shortly. We'll have the voice of Scooby Doo with. Oh, here we go. Neil, good morning.
Good morning. How are you, mate?
Good. How are you?
Good. Oh, it's cut off for anyway. They get the message.
Yeah. No,
Good
I
to see
worked
you,
it out.
Chris.
I worked it out. How to get this done. I watched a 1 minute video prior that said, "Do this, do this, do this."
Amazing, amazing. You nailed it,
Yeah. Good morning. How are you?
mate. Fantastic. It's a bit of a cloudy day here north of Sydney and in Australia. Hello, Scooby Doo fans. It's great to be here. Talking to everyone in preparation for the next show coming up, which is Brisbane Supernova in 2
Yeah.
weeks.
Oh
So, and you'll be there, I take it.
no, no. So
Bugger.
I like to say that I'm an Adelaide exclusive.
Good
Um,
morning, Tara. Hey, Vampire Babes. Hello,
that's Lee.
Jared.
Yeah, so I will be doing Adelaide Supernova,
Right.
MC, of course. And I thought, I've struck up a really great friendship with you. I think you're just such an awesome, great, fantastic guy. You put the
You too, mate.
fantastic in Fennec. Um, and I thought, what a great opportunity to have a couple of questions with you, see how you're going, and promote you.
And fan questions. Like we've got
Yeah,
an audience now. Hi, everyone. Coming through and saying good day. And great to be here. So it's like a live Q&A if you want. But other right roll. Where's Raggy? Hello, Pinecone, Will. So yeah, fire away.
yeah, ask some questions.
Yeah.
So obviously we'll sort of promote. Firstly, you're going to be at Brisbane Supernova, which is the 7th and 8th of November.
7, 8, 9. It's
Oh, that's
Friday,
right. It's
Saturday,
3 days.
Sunday. Yep.
Yeah,
So
fantastic.
Brisbane Entertainment Centre, Convention Centre, sorry.
Yeah,
So yeah, come along and see. It's 10 till 6 all 3 days, I understand. So I'll be doing my panel Q&A on Saturday sometime. The schedule's about to be released.
yeah,
So if you want to come along to my panel, I highly recommend it because I'm always trying to, get better and make sure that the audience is enjoying what we're doing. And, I've been 35 years in show business, so, I know what sort of it takes to create a bit of a show as opposed to just a Q&A. So I actually have incorporated some behind the scenes videos, which I play on the screens, as well as, just some fun things that I've done in my career. I've got some stunt driving in there because I'm a stunt man as well. And, just interesting things, interviews with Matthew and I back in when we were promoting Scooby Doo 2 in London. All sorts of different videos that probably people haven't seen before. So it's going to be cool. It's going well. And obviously the questions as well. So I answer a question, and then how does it work with you live on set with the actors? How does that work? Well, I explain how it works, and I go, "Oh, would you like to see me doing it?" And then I'll play the video. So it just accentuates. Thanks, Vampire Babes. Thank you for those lovely words. Highly recommend the panel Q&A. It's fun. It's all
I
fun.
can really say that as an MC, having a guest like you really makes it so much easier for us. And it's not really about making it easy for us, but the fact is that sometimes you may have a guest that doesn't quite give you something that you need to really latch onto. You're a real performer. You put on a show, and I think the people that benefit the most from that is always the crowd and the
Hmm.
fans, because they get to see you, they get to see the raw you,
Sure.
and you get to show them a little bit about you that the everyday people don't get to see,
Sure.
and I think that's amazing. So if
Thank
anyone's
you.
got any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. I just want to show, if you do go to Brisbane Supernova and you do happen to go and get Neil to sign your goods, you could get a VHS signed, which I got done this year at Sydney Supernova,
Did you?
by you, and then in Melbourne Supernova this year, or was it last year? I got my Funko Pop
Brody.
signed. Yeah,
Yes. Yes, when I started doing this, which is only recently, as you know, Chris, doing Comic Cons and performing, because I've been busy. I've been working in the industry the whole 35 years, and even since Scooby Doo 2 wrapped in Vancouver in 2003. Been very busy, working continuously. I've done 3 shows this year. I just worked on a feature film with Tony Collette and Nash and Luke Edgerton, and called Fangs feature film. And then before that was Return to Paradise season 2, and before that was Heartbreak High season 3. So I'm working all the time. So it's hard to find time to do all these things, but I really love doing them. Did my first one, first Comic Con in Brisbane, my hometown, in 2022. So it's just recently that I've started doing these, and I love them. I absolutely love doing what I do and meeting all the fans, and they're just so beautiful and giving, and this character means so much to people, and
yeah,
I'm the sort of embodiment of that character, and I feel this responsibility to make sure that everyone walks away from meeting me going, yes, that was fantastic. I'm so glad I spent the time to do that, and walked away with something to have as a memento of the time, signing things. So I started just having the pictures, photos, signings, and then I kept getting asked by the fans, saying, "Oh, do you have any DVDs? Can I get this shirt that you're wearing?" Oh, okay. Yeah. So I started getting some things to help people. So I sign thing. I give them the gift. I give them the pop, and you're paying for the signature, essentially. So come along. I've got pops and DVDs of 1 and 2 and so on, that I gift to you, and then I just sign them, and you're paying for the signature, and then you can obviously bring your own item as well. So if you've got a plush toy, or you've got something that's special to you from Scooby Doo, the franchise over the 56 years,
yeah,
feel free to bring along, and I can sign that for you too. So and I do videos for people, photos with this background that I've got made up recently. I don't know if you can see that. That's the top of it. Do you see that all? No,
yeah,
you do
yeah,
in your end. You're seeing it all. Great.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
I think that's fantastic, and I remember seeing you in Sydney Supernova, and I saw that banner, and I thought, wow, like you know, you've got your own thing.
Yeah.
J. Anthony Frankie was there, and he had his own banner that is used at other things. So by
Yep.
adding your own personal touch to your booth at Comic Con, it's fantastic, and it really does encompass who you and the character are.
Mm.
That is that the guests, the attendees get to see that. So that's
Yeah,
fantastic.
that's right. And I try and give when everyone's coming to meet me at my table, I try and give them the time. And I know that that's a bit of a balancing act between, not leaving people waiting too long, but also, making sure it's worthwhile. And I'm answering questions, and I obviously do the voice for everybody. Great to meet you. Oh my gosh. And doing videos for people. And I really genuinely enjoy this whole process. It seems like I've done a lot of live shows in my career. I started as a stuntman actor at Warner Brothers Movie World back in 1992, pre-opening cast. And so I did the Police Academy stunt show and all the live shows in the street performer, for 14 and a half years. So I did over 20,000 performances of the show
Wow.
live, to millions of people if you add the 1,500 people in the crowd each time. So it's just that experience of being live with people. I love film, that's for sure. There's nothing. They're all great. It's all showbiz, and I enjoy every aspect of it. And this is just like this culmination of everything that I've sort of done in my career to sort of now give back to the fans and make sure that they're having a great time, because Comic Cons are awesome. They are fantastic events, and it's a safe space for everybody. You know, the cosplay is incredible. Some of the costumes. I was just at Bendigo, and the costumes were outstanding, unbelievable. You know, and all around the world that I've just been traveling around and seeing the passion that people present themselves in as their favorite character. It's just amazing. They are film quality. They really are. And you know, props go out to everyone who puts in the effort. And they get photos with people, so they feel special. It's just a really beautiful space to be in, and everyone's so giving and lovely, and you know, I feel like I want to give back, and I hope I do.
It's a beautiful community. It
It
really is.
is.
And you're
It is.
right. You know, I've shared with you that I used to be nearly 250 kilos. And one of the things that really bothered me to begin with about going to these events was that I felt that perhaps as a bigger person, I may be judged, you know, going around. But my first ever Comic Con was Supanova in 2014.
Right.
And I can't think the name off the top of my head, but he played Joffrey in Game of Thrones.
Yep.
And I went because I loved Game of Thrones. And, you know, when I walked through the door as a big person, I was frightened at first, thinking, am I going to be judged? But all of a sudden, I realized no one cared. You know, they care. They care. Are you into Star Wars? Are you into Star Trek?
Yeah.
They don't care
Yeah.
what color you are, what sexuality you are, what
Yeah.
gender. There's
Yeah.
nothing like that. It's what fandom you like and why you're wrong because my fandom's better. That's it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, I agree. I agree. I remember meeting you for the first time, and I got to say, ladies and gentlemen, this man has recreated himself recently, and you're looking fantastic. You
Thank
know,
you.
some struggles you went through. I was glad I was able to help you through those in some way. Um, and that's what I'm trying to do too. Is you know, look, we've all been through stuff, and if I can just present a positive attitude to everybody and make people feel good, I mean, my DMs are open on my site, on Instagram, Facebook, all those things, and I get back to people. It's me, you know, it's me, you know, it's me, just doing all the video uploads and all the things I do on socials because they're really bad because I'm old and I'm technically, I would say I am at the intermediate level. Certainly no expert. So, you know, sometimes the photos are cut off, and it's a lot to learn. It's a lot to go through. It's not something that I grew up with, obviously.
Yeah,
So, please, you know, continue to follow me. I'm trying to get things out to people because I've got some announcements coming up, which I'll talk to you about at the end of this chat. But if anyone's got any questions, feel free to put them in the chat, and maybe you could just tell me what they are, Chris, and we'll have a
sure.
chat to people.
We've had somebody who wanted to have you say their name Stanley in a Scooby Doo voice because it'll make their childhood.
Well, hello, Stanley. It's Scooby Doo here. Oh my gosh, keep solving mysteries, right? How's that, man?
Well
Too
done.
easy. Well,
You know,
I'm also on Cameo.
yes.
So if people want to do a special birthday or anniversary or shout out to somebody, make people feel good, uplifting messaging, it's this background, and please, you know, jump on there. I've actually got a Halloween special. I've jumped on board with that. So
Oh,
for Halloween, it's 50% off. So and I'm not that expensive, because I'm just me. Anyway, thank you, Dan Palmer. I appreciate that lovely sentiment.
that's amazing. You know, so Neil, you've been voicing Scooby Doo for years. Now, back when you were first cast as Scooby Doo, obviously there is some source material that you've got to look at, but how did you approach the character of Scooby Doo by obviously you don't want to imitate Scooby, but how do you add your flair to the iconic character?
Great question. Great question, Chris. Yes, I don't want to do an impression. I want to keep the same tone and feeling of the character. So obviously, all the best with your shooting at Dockland Studio today. I'll talk about the Netflix TV series coming up to answer that question. But no, I
Yeah.
don't think there's any more Scooby Doo movies coming up. But I'll expand on that. So, getting back to the character. Yes, I was a huge fan, of course, when I watched the original Scooby Doo Where Are You series from 1969. Now, that was Don Messick, the voice legend who is Don Messick. He invented Scooby. He invented Astro. He did all these other amazing voices for Hanna-Barbera back in the day, which have become so iconic. So he really is someone that I looked up to. And I started doing voices when I was about 8 or 9, just with my mates. And anyway, you don't think it's going to be a career, but I just love doing it. And it made my mates smile and all those things. So that was my touchstone, Don Messick's original, deep, gravelly kind of voice. And then when the film came along, I was cast as the on-set voice actor for Scooby Doo. So I'm interacting with the cast. I'm actually acting to. So you're Shaggy. The camera's behind me, looking at you, and you're acting to me, and I'm acting back to you, microphoned, and in civilian clothes, no costume, no suit or anything. But I'm acting back to you. So you've got my eyes, you've got the feeling, and I'm high energy. I'm putting 100% into every take and rehearsals and so on. And through all that process, that's how I got the voice in the end, because of what I did. I performed for 5.5 months, and I did Scrappy Doo, and I did Scrappy Rex. I did all the ghosts. I did all the voices on both movies, and got the opportunity to be considered for the final voice. Anyway, so my tone was sort of similar to Don Messick's, but in the live action movies, you've got an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes to discover the characters. And we all had that opportunity in our various characters to have our character arc and where they went. So for Scooby, James Gunn wrote these amazing scripts. And hi, James, I know you're watching. Oh, hello. Sorry. Here we go. Behind the scenes. Where's my set dresser? Set dresser. There you go. All right.
Rock roll.
Roll. Right. So it's live, folks, when that happens.
A ghost did it, didn't it?
Don't edit that out, Steve. Yeah. What was I saying? Prompt Chris.
You were saying about, oh my goodness me, isn't that terrible? You were acting opposite
James
them.
Gunn. James Gunn
Yeah.
wrote these amazing scripts where, cleverly in the beginning, they all break up and they go off, and we have our little character arcs with all the characters. Some of which they didn't use all of in the final film, about where Freddie and Sarah went and so on. But anyway, the point was that we broke up, and so suddenly, I've got this opportunity to be really emotional about certain things, and that's not something that you see in the cartoons generally. Generally Scooby's, hungry, scared, loving, laughing, and loving Shaggy and the gang, but no other there's so many other emotions that you can feel. So that was my opportunity as an actor to interpret the script and see where Scooby, the character, how he would react to these things, and be having that. He's a childlike character. This Scooby is quite naive, and he's just a kid. He's just he's not, doesn't understand what, when Mondavarius asked him to be a sacrifice. Oh, he goes, Raracaros? He doesn't understand what that is. Help! Oh man. I've got to finish my studio because anyway, it's a work in progress.
I love that. A sacrifice.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah,
that had that was the challenge, and that was the thing that I hope I brought to the character was that hi Liam, that was so many different emotions that I could have interpreted
yeah.
and made that. Yes, Rarakara is one of my favourite lines. What it's a
There's
gunnism. So we called James everything that he sort of did was a gunnism. Like no one could think of doing that. So
gunnism. I like
unique.
that.
Great writer, obviously.
Yeah.
Done pretty well,
Yeah.
James.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's done all right.
He's done all right. Done all
Yeah,
right. Superman was
small
awesome.
time director.
I hope to catch up with him soon. So if anyone's saying hi to James, James Gunn, let him know I said hi, and I'd love to
Yeah.
see him in LA soon.
Awesome. Now, Stan De Palma did put a question up before, which was, what was your favourite scene to film? Oh,
Oh,
hold on.
oh my gosh. Okay. Uh,
Okay.
what do we do? What do we do? Hang on.
All
Can I
right.
take 2 seconds?
Yeah, of course.
No.
Whoops.
No. Anyway, I got.
That's all right.
You had it. You had it. Anyway.
It's all right. We got enough of it in the beginning.
I'll tell you what. Look, I'll move around because that's one background, but I live in heaven, and this is probably going to be a nicer background. Maybe it will be. So the question was, sorry,
Okay, so the question is, what was your favourite scene to film, and do you do any more iconic voice work?
favorite scene. Ooh. Yes. Well, there's a lot. I think. Well, that scene with Rowan Atkinson in the office where he's saying sacrifice, it was up there. I was a big Rowan Atkinson fan from when I was a kid with Blackadder and all those things.
Mr. Bean.
Yeah, what an icon, and he was great to work with. But look, any scene with Matthew Lillard, probably one of the favourites was in Scooby Doo 2 when we were going into the disco scene, when we're going in and I've got the green outfit on. So that
Yeah.
was a moment where we had a suit performer in a suit, and she was a dancer. And which one are you watching? Oh, right, watching this live. Great. You're Armageddon. Great. Yeah, so that scene was amazing because this dancer was coming in and Matt's doing his hey, 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 all that stuff and the funky moves he had worked out. He's just a genius, Matthew Lillard, and great person, human being, and all that. But yeah, James said to me, "Oh, look, we need to keep this alive. Can you just ad lib some lines, as you're walking in?" And so I'm like, "Yeah, great." So I'm just ad libbing off camera as they're walking through, just going, "Groovy, get down, mellow, baby," all that stuff. I kept it all, so that was fun. And there's a lot of stuff in there in the movies that they actually kept, which is fantastic and great to see. I've still got the scripts, so
Uh,
I know what I did. And anyway, so yes, I do other voices. Look, I was a Looney Tunes fan as well, so Yosemite Sam. Oh, I hate that darned rabbit. All those ones. Marvin the Martian.
oh, please do
Your
Marvin the
things are
Martian.
making me very angry. There's heaps that I do. But look, Scooby's one of my favourites, obviously, from when I was a child, and it's something that I thoroughly enjoy doing. I enjoy doing all the voices, but it's something about creating voices as well, because that's a lot about what we do as voice artists. We get asked to create voices for certain things because it's a radio ad, for instance, and say, you might be promoting Avocado Land that's opening up, and Avo, the character, is going to be doing the voiceover, and he's, wanting everyone to come along to Avocado Land. So, got this script, 30-second radio commercial, go, create the voice. Right. Okay. So I've got to ask some questions in that instance. How old is he? Yeah. How big is he? Is, what is he? Australian, American, whatever. So I've got to create create the character vocally so that he sells, and it's what they want.
Yeah,
So got to create all sorts of alternatives too. So that's the skill. Yes, you start out obviously as a voice artist by in doing impressions of people and enjoying that process, and that's great. Of course, that's where we all start. But yeah, you do need to have that as acting experience to interpret a script. And what we're trying to do always is to bring the project's dream alive. So the director's vision of the producers, all these collaborative people that have worked towards this particular project, and we all have a part in that. And that's the beautiful collaborative part about filmmaking and performing that I love, is that we're all the same. We're all there's no one that's more important than the next person,
yeah,
because everyone on a film set and in production and backstage and all those things has a part to play. You know, Entertainment's very much like military in its makeup. You've got all these different departments, and they all have to come together to create to get a goal, and the goal is to make the best product possible.
it's like
So
a
anyway,
car. If you don't have the wheels, you don't drive. If you don't have a steering wheel, you can't drive. If you don't have an engine that doesn't start, everything
yeah,
is important and has a place.
going to answer this question:
Yeah.
how do I feel to be part of something so iconic? Yes, very humbled, to be honest. It's something that I can't believe. You sort of think that you want to do. I was a voice artist for 6 years before I got Scooby Doo, so to be part of something again for so long now is incredible, and I'm very honoured to be part of the franchise, and I want to keep that alive. And I'm really hoping, and I'll tease this because Netflix are making a live action TV series of Scooby Doo.
Oh,
Belanti Productions in Warner Brothers is the production company, and they are well and truly into pre-production. So I'm hoping, I've got all my paws crossed, that I will be back behind the mic as the voice of Scooby Doo in the upcoming series. Nothing confirmed. Yes, I agree with you, Chris. I've got everything crossed, because I think I've got something to add to
yeah.
this franchise now. It's going to be a prequel, so this is what we know. It's out online already. Woohoo! Ruby Doo! Thank you. It's Ruby Wood. Nice. I like it. Ruby Wood sign there. um, Thank you. This is My Voice podcast. Great podcast. So yes, please, think of me as just hopefully the send good vibes my way. They're casting very, very soon for roles. There's going to be a prequel, as I said, so the gang will be children. Not sure of the exact ages, but yeah, thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, so I'm hopeful, but
Yeah.
got to put my best paw forward and see how we go.
Can you believe, like, if you can go back in time to a younger Neil who was on the set of Scooby Doo 2, and this is the moment where you've finished up. It's okay. I've done my two movies now. Can you believe that if you fast forwarded for years, like you get to travel around the world just talking about everything that you have done as Scooby Doo? I think that's just unbelievably amazing.
Yes. Look, I could never have imagined. I mean, we all went into the project. Hello, South London. We all went into the project of Scooby Doo One as huge fans of Scooby Doo as already, and so we all felt this responsibility at the time to to present the best project possible, the best outcome possible for the fans, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
You want to. They should be asking the fans, what do you want to see? And doing some, I'm sure they are, doing some research into where they want the franchise to go, because, there's been some other things happening which haven't been so popular, perhaps. And, that's fine. You've got to try things. But, no, I couldn't have imagined that I'd be here talking to you and doing what I'm doing. But we were confident with the team that they had assembled, Warner Brothers had assembled in 2001 when we started shooting. James Gunn, Raja Gosnell directing, Richard Suckle producing, Charles Robin executive producer, Atlas Entertainment involved, the backing of Warner Brothers, in the promotion, Linda Cardellini as Velma, Freddie and Sarah, bang, this is when Sarah was at the peak of her career. She was just about to wrap the final series of Buffy, and we actually shot around Sarah for the first month, 5 weeks, because she was still shooting the last episode of Buffy, and there was a crossover in the timings. So she would do 2 weeks in LA shooting Buffy, fly halfway around the world to the Gold Coast in Australia and shoot 2 weeks with us and then go back. She did that 3 times. It's like Sarah Michelle Gellar is a Trojan, an amazing performer, and lovely person. I'm so glad that Sarah and Freddie are, still together, married. What a Hollywood success story. Beautiful. Great kids, and they were just out here doing I Know What You Did Last Summer too recently in Sydney.
Great movie.
So yeah, great. It's going to be great.
We've seen it. It's been out.
Yes.
Yes.
It's going.
Yeah.
There might be more. Anyway,
Um,
so
I,
anyway, yes, it's amazing to be involved.
I just had this funny vision of you sneaking on a plane over to the set of Buffy, and as she's finishing a scene, you sort of in the background going, "Ruh-roh, a vampire!"
Yeah. Well, look, there's so many crossovers that could happen. Collaborations, I'll answer this Matthew Lillard question in a moment. Stand by, Palmer. So, look, back in the day, there was so many crossovers with Batman and Scooby and the Falcon and, Laugh Olympics and all these things that Scooby was involved in Hanna-Barbera world. And there's nothing to say that, this can't happen again.
Yeah.
So, and look, James might have some ideas about how to integrate Scooby into some of the superhero world. I'm not sure, but look, there's potential there. Obviously, it's fantastic.
Scooby Doo
So
3.
it would be amazing. Scooby Doo 3, well,
Well, yeah.
who knows?
Yeah.
Nothing out of the question. But I don't know that you get the cast back, the original cast of our movies back for Scooby 3. Then we're not kids anymore. But I would really hope that they would get cameos in the Netflix series. That would be amazing. That'd be cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what's Matthew Lillard like in real life? Look, this guy is just everything you see at Comic-Cons, is his generosity, kindness, fun. He's crazy. He's a prankster. But at his core, he's just this loving human being. And I'm honoured to call him a dear friend. And if you ever get the chance to meet Matthew Lillard, please go and do it, because you'll come away with love in your heart and shining, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And we actually, I have an announcement, not officially yet, but we are going to be getting together, reuniting for the first time in 23 years since we wrapped on Scooby Doo 2 in Vancouver. We're going to be appearing at a Comic-Con together, reuniting for the first time soon. And the clues are, we want to be going to London, we do. But anyway, the clues are, and because it hasn't signed contracts yet, but it's happening. It's not Australia, and it's not in the US. It scales it down, and it's next year, in the first quarter of next year. Anyway, that's all I can say. But it's going to be beautiful, amazing.
And if you need an MC, I mean,
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be inundated. So,
well, that's
oh,
fantastic.
yes, getting some great messages from Birmingham. That was amazing. Birmingham and Manchester was really cool. Loved going over. I love the UK. Fans over there are just amazing. So yeah, want to come back. Definitely, there's more we want to do next year. We'll definitely be back to the UK in some at some Monopoly events shows over there. Definitely next year. Not sure which ones yet, but you know, scheduling is difficult. And I know there's disappointment when people, you know, are booked for shows and then they cancel, but it's difficult. Filming schedules change all the time. And so, you know, we hope to be where we can get to fans the most.
That
You
is the
liking this background?
frustrating. That is the frustrating thing is that when you have an event where they announce a guest and everyone's excited and there's this big build up and then unfortunately the guest has to cancel for some reason and the event sort of puts up, oh, this person's cancelled, and then I try and avoid reading the comments now because it is so heartbreaking. They don't get how much of an effort it is to get this all together. So,
Yeah.
and your actors, you know, your paid job is if you get an opportunity, you've got to go with that.
Yeah, we do, and
Yeah,
that's great. Look, I hope people understand. I mean, we're as disappointed as they are, but we try and get back, obviously, to where we're going to go.
yeah,
I haven't cancelled yet, but you know, it's just luck. It's
yeah,
a lot and this industry is all about that. You know, there's I get asked all the time. I'm mentoring a lot of people at the moment to try and accelerate their careers into the industry and stay in the industry. And there's some certain things you can do to advance your cause.
yeah.
And one of those things is, you know, to just be have a lot of strings to your bow, I would say, and try and do other things. But I'm so glad. I'm getting lots of comments here about people who are voice acting and acting that came from the love of Scooby Doo, and that's fantastic. So thank you for that comment. And passion you mentioned is exactly what you need to have, and stickability. This is a hard industry, you know, and there's so many people who want to do it, and the opportunities are sometimes a bit limited, but you just got to hang in there and do things. I mean, you know, become a triple threat if you can: sing, dance, act, ride a unicycle, juggle, do things. I mean, I'm quite a unique performer in that I'm a voice artist, actor, stuntman. Quite a unique combination of skills. But you know, whoever, that's just what I've been doing and done.
Yeah.
Does my voice hurt when I do it? Not really. No. The only time thank you, Cherry Blossoms. That's amazing. Thank you. The only time I really struggled is when I was recording at the Eastwood studio at Warner Brothers a lot in Burbank in LA. I was doing 2 days recording of the whole movie with Raja and James and so on. And it was the scene in Scooby Doo 2 where where the Skelly guys are chasing us and we bounce down the cliff, the edge and end up bouncing into the mystery machine at the bottom. And there's nothing there for me. There was nothing there at that point for me to look at. They had a very early previs of Scooby going down, but it's basically doing all these, you know, as he's bouncing and hitting things on the way down, doing backflips and stuff. And I'm just creating that and trying to get the points. Anyway, I had to do it so many times because it was really difficult. Hi, Lenarism. So that at the end of that day, that my voice was definitely, I'd known I'd been giving it everything, and it was a bit strained, but not sore. Fortunately, this is the training that comes with doing a lot of things, is that I've done a lot of street shows, outdoor performances. So my voice has great projection and it's quite strong because I've just been doing a lot of things for a long time. And, you know, as you can tell, I like to talk. I'm a talker. So, you know, it only hurt that one time, but, you know, certain voices are difficult. One was the, you know, the Scrappy Doo into Scrappy Rex when he's bursting up and he goes from Scrappy Doo, who's like 1.5 foot tall, to Scrappy Rex, who's this 40-foot demon.
Yeah.
And that had to be done in one take because it's a transition from put him up to, you know, the devil. And that was very difficult to do as well. So that was Scooby Doo 1. And Raja and I and James worked a lot on that scene to try and get it, because there's, as I say, there's nothing there. You know, you're filming this space, and they're just saying that, you know, this cave set with sand on the floor, and there's nothing there. And I'm just creating. They told me what had to happen, but it's my imagination that has to transform. You know, and about, you know, 2.5 seconds in, you know, you sort of midpoint, and then 3.5 seconds, you know, bigger, and that's the transition of the voice as well, going from this small, really high pitch to the deepest I could get it. And these are the challenges that you get. So, but that's great. That's what happens.
Awesome.
Yeah.
There is the question. Were there any tricks or techniques that helped you ace Scooby's voice?
Look, fortunately, you know, your voice naturally has a tone that is similar to certain characters. I mean, I can't do everybody as much as I'd like to. So I think that was a gift to me first, but also just, you know, watching it a lot, and then obviously getting the laugh, the, you know, staccato laugh. It's going into falsetto. It's, you got to go right up there. Anyway, it's lots and lots of practice. As Matthew Lillard will tell you, when he first auditioned for Shaggy, he just used to blow his voice out to get the meow man, that pitch squeak. But he realised that wasn't sustainable for the whole movie, so he worked out with voice coaches and his own ability to be able to do it without having to do that. So you work on techniques that are going to be to work for you, but, you know, voice training.
Yeah.
You know, we're professional, industry professionals. It's like any trade. It's like any. Good question. If Frank Welker retired, would you take over as Scooby Doo, Neil? Absolutely. If Frank wants to retire, I would love to take over doing the cartoons. But he's fit and healthy, and I hope he goes on for as long as he wants to. But yeah, I would dearly love to take over that mantle somewhere down the track.
As soon
But
as I saw Frank Walker, my
Welker,
first instinct, sorry,
Welker,
because
Frank
the person there's got you
Welker.
Frank Walker,
Oh.
and my brain instantly went, "How would Scooby Doo do National Tiles?"
um. Oh. Hello, Miss National Tiles. Oh, it's a crossover. Hello, National Tiles here.
Hello, Frank
Frank
Walker, National Tiles.
Frank Walker, National Tiles. Yeah, what a classic. But that's the
Yeah,
thing. That's so recognisable because
yeah,
it's so silly. It's so over the top that it just cuts through on the radio, and that's sort of what they try and get you to do as well. Sometimes is that, you know, they don't want the come down and see us at this place and blah blah
yeah.
blah. They want something that's going to cut through so that it's different. And
Well, we all
then
know it. We know the brand. As soon as you hear hello, you know straight away what that represents, and you
oh
kind
yeah,
of go, they've cottoned on to that, and now
definitely.
it's like, okay, that's recognizable. That's what brand awareness is.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah. So maybe one more question, and then if you want to promote anything, I don't want to keep you too long.
Yep.
I'm super, super duper appreciative of you spending this morning with us. So you know,
Got to
you've
show you
got
my Scooby Doo.
what's
Ruby.
Ruby?
Ruby.
Hello,
This
Ruby.
is Ruby Doo.
Oh,
She's our cattle dog.
Oh,
Sorry, border collie, but
border
she's actually
collie.
a working cattle dog.
Oh,
Absolutely
how
beautiful.
wonderful. So, hi,
So yeah,
Ruby. Um,
that's Ruby.
so I guess my final question for you would be if you could put Scooby Doo into any other fandom, your the fandom that you love, what would you love Scooby Doo to be a part of?
Mm. Well, I really liked one of my favourite cartoons was the Laugh Olympics. So I think it'd be funny to have Scooby be part of a team that had all these other characters in it. So you could, and there might be, the villains as a team. There might be, you know, all these other characters. So yeah, it was the Harlem Globetrotters back then were in it, and yeah, it just was so many iconic characters come together.
Yeah.
It's like yeah, that those sorts of crossovers would be fun.
Awesome. So, Neil, look, thank you so much for joining me this morning. I
Thank you.
really do appreciate it.
No worries,
Of
Chris.
course, Supernova's coming up. So, if you are in Adelaide, Supernova is next weekend. So, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I will be there emceeing some panels. So, hopefully, I'll
Yep.
see you there. But of course, the following weekend is Brisbane Supernova. The wonderful, talented Neil Fanning will be there signing autographs, getting photos, doing panels, talking about everything about Scooby Doo, etc.
Yep.
And you said you're on Cameo, so if
Yes.
yeah,
Cameo. I've got a YouTube channel. It's all Scooby
yep,
Doo Neil Fanning. So Scooby Doo Neil Fanning on Cameo,
yep,
YouTube, Insta, LinkedIn, like all
yep,
the things.
yep.
And if you've got any, you can email me. I've got a website, scoobydoneilfanning.com. You can email me and I'll send things back to you. And there's a shop there and all sorts of stuff. So
Awesome,
spread the
awesome.
love. Keep solving mysteries, gang. And thanks so much for having me, Chris. It's been amazing. Have a lovely Saturday or
You too.
Friday, wherever you are in the world. And from me, Scooby Doo.
Thanks, Neil. Thanks, everyone. See you next time. Bye.
Ruth.
Bye. I got to work out how to turn this off.